To the Batman and Robin.
Welcome back.
All right, folks, you all enjoying yourself?
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. Here at Haven Realty Centers, we offer 3 home buyer assistance programs. All right. First home buyer assistance program, we have the buyer. Well, it's called the buyer assistance program. The second program, we have what we call the rent to own program. And the third program, we have the credit intervention program.
All right, let's take it one by one. First things first. I like to get everybody just open up. Shake your left hand for me. Just everybody just shake this hand. Just this hand. Let's wake up just a little bit. It's good information. I want that to be alive. Somebody give me this hand. Hold that for me. Can't do the hand. Hold it for me. Get this hand. Keep both hands. Keep both hands. All right, shake them on out. All right, folks. Now, repeat after me. There is good credit.
There is good credit.
There is bad credit.
There is bad credit.
And there's okay credit.
There is okay credit.
When everybody's getting the house.
When everybody's getting the house.
These programs consider 3 things when we're looking at putting you in a house. First thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at your credit. Everybody say credit.
Credit.
Then we're going to look at your income. We want to make sure you got a job. Everybody say income.
Income.
Last thing we're going to do is we're going to look at your savings. Everybody says savings.
Savings.
Now, before we get started on these programs, we need to have a little heart to heart. This is not the place for you if you're not planning on making a sacrifice. Where there is no sacrifice, there will be no appreciation. Where there is no sacrifice, there will be no appreciation. So here's what you're going to have to sacrifice. You are going to have to sacrifice, ladies. We might not be going to the nail salon to get fillers every 2 weeks or every week. Fellas, we're going to stay out of Circuit City. And can't get into PlayStation 3. And couples, it may be a blockbuster night for a long time to come. Now, where there's no sacrifice, blockbuster night is all right. When there's no sacrifice, there will absolutely be no appreciation. That being said, Andre, that's about our program.
All right, our first program, we have what we call the buyer assistance program once again. All right, this program is for clients with okay to great credit, or with low cash to invest into the real estate transaction.
So basically, you mean if my credit is okay, but I'm a little short on cash. You got something for me?
Yes.
Okay, just got to make sure.
All right, now, the first piece of this particular program is the Federal Housing Administration Program. Now, Derek touched on it earlier. FHA is what he talked about. It requires 3% down, and it's not a credit-based loan.
Did anybody hear that? That is not a credit-based loan. Did y'all hear that?
Yes.
They're going to take into account people's situation.
All right, now, I'm going to go down to our next piece of the home buyer assistance program, and it has a little bit to do with FHA. Now, with FHA, you all heard me say it requires 3% down, correct?
Right.
All right, now, how many of you all have $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 in the bank? Okay, now, how many of you all would like it if I could get a non-profit organization to pay that for you? All right, what we have, folks, we have non-profit organizations in place. The Nehemiah Foundation, American Dreams, all right, in place to provide the payment assistance to our home buyers.
Wait. You mean to tell me that there's some non-profit organization sitting around waiting to pay the money for me to get to buy it?
Yeah, they wait. The third piece of this particular program is the seller assistance program. Now, you all know this is a buyer's market. There are tons of properties on the market, and sellers are ready to sell. Properties are staying on the market for 365 days, some of them 2 years. All right, so they're ready to pay your down payment plus your closing costs to get you in a home with little to no money out of your pocket. All right, would y'all like that?
your behalf to get you in the house. Now, guess what? Let's see, what's your name?
Russell.
Russell, what do you think, percentage-wise, that it takes the average home buyer to get in the house? Would you say they need 3% of money, 6% of money, 8% of money? Give me a number.
13.
13. Give me a number.
10%.
What percentage? 10%? What's your name? India. Give me a number. 15%? All right. The truth is that in this market, the average home buyer is going to need 7 to 8 to 9%, somewhere between 7 and 9% of funds to purchase a house. So what does that mean? For every $100,000, I need $9,000. For $200,000, I need $18,000. For $300,000, I need $36,000. Now, when he said that he had some programs for you, he meant that he had some programs for you. He had sellers waiting to donate $9,000, $18,000, $27,000 on your behalf. That they have nonprofit organizations waiting to put money up for you. And for those people who have okay credit, but you're just low on cash, that's the program for you. Now tell us about our second program, Andre.
All right, folks. Our second program is what we have called the rent-to-own program. This program is for clients with damaged credit who with some funds available to invest in a real estate transaction. All right, it's usually about 1% of the sales price.
And check this. When you get an apartment, what's the first thing they ask you for? Security deposit, security. So it's the same thing, right? Rather putting it down on paying somebody else's mortgage, the landlord, put it down on paying your mortgage, right? 1% is still 1%, is still 1%.
Exactly. Now, in this program, clients agree to rent a property, the home of your choice, the home of your dreams, for a period of 1 to 3 years, and during that time frame, they agree to work earnestly on repairing their credit issues.
To work earnestly on repairing the credit issues, okay?
Exactly. Now, after that 1 to 3 year time period, the client can work towards purchasing that house that they've been living in for 1 to 3 years. All right? Now, we have these programs available in Prince George's County, Anne Arundel County, Washington, D.C., Montgomery County, Virginia, everywhere. All right?
What about Georgetown? Can we dress up in Georgetown? Listen, the thing about that window program is, it sounds great and it's good on paper, but it does require some sacrifice on your back. So this is for people, you have a little bit of money saved. And some people say, well, I don't got no money saved. Well, it's tax time. Instead of getting a flat screen, maybe you should get out. Okay. Some people say, I don't know about your 40 when you're paying rent. You gotta pay the rent somewhere, right? So instead of paying your landlord's mortgage, might as well pay your own. Makes sense, right? So this is a real easy program to put you in now to get you motivated, to get you ready. Because some of y'all, this ain't your first time. Some of y'all, right? This ain't the first time you talk to a loan officer or a real estate agent. This program is designed to get you motivated, to get you ready. You in your house. You know you're going to live in it. All you got to do is do what your loan officer, your real estate agent, and your credit specialist tells you to do. They say we have it in Pekin County, Montgomery County, Baltimore, Charles County, and Washington, D.C. But these programs are all based upon your credit score. Everybody say credit score. Everybody say income. Income. Work at, and your savings. Everybody say savings. Savings. All right. Last thing I want to talk about is this credit situation. And then we're going to bring up a credit specialist to talk to you guys about it. All right? We're going to need to have us what they call a heart to heart. In this country, we talk about several forms of discrimination. We talk about race-based discrimination. We talk about gender-based discrimination. But one of the types of discrimination that are not talked about, but is probably more prevalent, is credit-based discrimination. And for those of you guys who've been discriminated against for your credit, you know what I'm talking about. All right? Now, I'll tell you a little story. One day, I went to Victoria's Secret. And I got in line with the item that I chose from my mother, right? And I got to the counter with my items, and they said, Mr. Ox, we'll give you 10% off if you do what? Apply. Oh my God. And I said to them, no. I'm okay now. I'm fine. No. She said, no, Mr. Ox, you should really apply. All you got to do is apply. If you just apply, you get 10% off. Now there's 3 people in line behind me. They waiting. They in a rush. This guy accommodated them too. Right? Lay down the counter. I said, all right. It takes about 2 minutes, and 3 minutes, and 4 minutes. I watch tea pop in the boys. Right? I'm like, man, this forever. People behind me, wow, right? And then she comes back, she says, Mr. Ox, they haven't made a decision on you yet because they need to review your profile. And somebody is going to be getting back to you by mail to let you know as to whether or not you're being accepted. Right? Now, here's the deal. The people behind me, the 3 people in line behind me, they wait down 7 minutes. Feels like an eternity. They know I have bad credit. Now, I knew when I applied, that's why I said, no, I'll be okay, that I had bad credit. Right? And now, the lady behind the cash register, she got the funny look on her face, like, okay, whatever. She knows I got bad credit. And after you've been through a couple situations like that, it messes with your self-esteem. Makes you feel insecure. Gives you what we call an ostrich syndrome. Makes you want to stick your head in the ground and hope that when you pull it back up, it's all gone away. Well, it's not. Some of y'all heard some things like, after 7 years, it's going to disappear. Well, it ain't. And I'm here to tell you that nobody is perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect, incredible person. We're not here to judge you. We're here to help you. And we know that people in this room have some questions. And we here at Haven Will Present, safest place in real estate, Wood Enterprises, and West Star Wood. We're going to walk with you. We're going to have some sit down. We're going to have some talk. If you get a hug, we'll give you that too. We know how it is, folks. We do. When I bought my first house, prior to me buying my first house, I had a 475 credit score. Somebody said, ouch. Wow. My credit score was 475. It was 18 pages long. 18 pages. I'll tell you what happened. I went to college, they gave me all these. I was in my every last one.
Chapter 1 credit card. Chapter 1. Yeah, they got me too. I know.
Well, then I didn't pay. And then they sold it to somebody else. Who sold it to somebody else? Who sold it to somebody else? That $250 credit card, by the time they got through with me 5, 6, 7 years later, looked like I was $10,000. Get about 7 of those, it's like, wow, I was $70,000. I was in a bad guy. And a lot of y'all feel like that bad people, because this happens to you also. And before we close out, tell you like this. This is how I want you to think of it. Does anybody in here ever know anybody who had perfect attendance? Raise your hand. If you know somebody had perfect attendance when you were in elementary school, raise your hand. I know somebody had perfect attendance. Don't come to me. That's all we do. Yeah. Here's my next question. Anybody in here know somebody who had perfect attendance from the time they started grade school to the time they graduated college? No. And they never missed a day. Never missed a day. The truest thing that you will ever hear from, the truest thing that you will ever hear is that life. Now imagine if I decided to judge how smart, how intelligent you were based upon how many days you missed in school from the time you started grade school to the time you graduated college. Well, oftentimes they're looking at your credit and they're saying, wow, from the time they turned 18, legally able to have credit, to the time that they're 21, right? To the time that they're 45, they're 50, I'm going to determine how creditworthy they are. You're in trouble, right? You're in trouble. You're in trouble. Exactly. And that's kind of how they're looking at you. And we're going to get you guys cleaned up. We're going to help you out. Because the truest thing that you'll ever hear is that life happens. People's grandmothers pass away. People break legs. People lose jobs. They broke. And these programs that we're going to be introducing to take into account regular, everyday, real people. What I mean by regular, everyday, real people?
Just like me and you.
Me and you. We got Honda Civics,
Honda Civics.
right? We got jobs.
9 to 5.
We don't have $100,000 worth of the bank. We got issues. So the person that is coming to the stage next, right, is the person we like to refer to as the credit guru, the person we like to refer to as the credit master, the person who's going to help everybody in here get their act together. Everybody on your feet and put your hands together.
Necessary. I say we're gonna get you to a home by any means necessary. Now, if you ain't got all that money in the bank, these brothers say they gonna get you the money. If you still ain't ready to get into a house, you ain't credit work, you brothers say just come with 1% down, and we gonna get you to a house. So y'all give these brothers a round of applause for coming out here, pouring out their hearts, protecting you from that kryptonite. Go back one slide. Go back one slide. Wait a second. Go back. Let me break you up.
Man, come on, get some love.
Yeah, some love. First, I need y'all to move a little bit. DJ Mike Scratch, give me a little something to just, you know. Been in the mortgage industry for, you know, a little bit of time, a little over 5 years. Brother is a multi-million-dollar producer in the real estate game. This brother has helped people with entities, foreign national, speaks over, what we have, 7 languages now? Speaks over 7 languages. He's going to come out, he's going to pour out his heart to you and tell you the do's and don'ts of the credit process, tell you how we can take care of some of that adverse credit, and even tell you how we're going to rebuild the credit you got. I want y'all to pay close attention to Antonio Rivera. Show him some love.
Can everybody hear me without the mic?
Yes.
All right, I want everybody to stand up for me. Pretty please. Rub your earlobes. Count to 10. Breathe in and out deeply. They say woosah.
Woosah.
Woosah. All right, everybody can sit down. This is stressful, so you know we gotta get it out the way. I'm going to tell you a little bit about credit, how, you know, on a daily basis, you know, we see about 8 to 10 people, and everybody, you know, had a little bump along the way, like Trevor, they hit him up with credit cards in college, some people were in trouble afterwards, no problem, we can help you guys out. As they said, we have a lot of programs. The FHA doesn't have a credit score requirement. Right now, they're tightening up everything because of the mortgage credit crunch crisis. But we're getting everybody back in line. The home prices are coming back online. This is the best time to buy due to the market. So we're here to get you there. So please bear with me with all the slides. Okay. Feel free to ask any questions at the end of the slide. All right, number 1. Dick in the beginning told you it's a process, right? So you're being part of this big process. The first thing that you shouldn't do is don't apply for any kind of a new
credit when you're going through the process. Why? You already talked to your loan officer, you already talked to your specialist, your mortgage specialist, and they already saw your credit report, they already pulled your credit, and already told you what you need to do and what you don't need to do, and they're able to tell the picture, they're able to see the snapshot in your credit and say, hey, this is the way that we're going to get you there. Okay? So, pre-approvals from various lenders, when they pull your credit multiple times, what happens? Score drops, right? It's true. Every time that they pull your credit, it's kind of weird because it penalizes you. For you trying to get a good deal, it penalizes you. But it is what it is. It's what we got right now. But you should always go with a professional because they're able to tell you, hey, this is what we can do for you, and they're giving you the right advice. Applying for new credit cards is bad. Why? Every trade line.
What's your more debt? You want your debt to financial.
Debt to income ratio.
Right. That's one of them. And two, the new trade lines don't get rated for the first 6 months. So it doesn't calculate into your credit score. Applying for new car loans, okay. I'm getting a new house, now I'm going to go get the SUV to go with the house. Whoa, that's an extra $500 payment. So if you already were paying $500 a month for your house and you're making $2,000, then that's a quarter of your income. That's 25%, right? If you add another $500 to that, it becomes 50%. And if you have any other little debt, it goes over 50%, and we can't get you into the house. It becomes very hard for us to qualify. But those are things that we overcome on a daily basis. All right, number two. Can you read it? Yes, you can.
Don't pay off collections or charge-offs.
Does anybody know why?
Because when you pay off a collection, what will happen is you'll end up paid off, it will appear more recent than it is in the lower score.
That's correct. Did everybody hear that?
Can you read that again?
Stand up, sir. Stand up. Tell us all. Face the crowd.
When you pay off a collection, essentially what happens is that it will appear as if you have just paid off something, then it will lower your score because when you pay it off, essentially the clock restarts on it. And the credit report treats it as if it's very recent.
Thank you. The credit report is a rubric, and it reads the line. Basically, it says how many months you've been paying on this account, how long you've had it open for, and how much you owe on it. Right? So it's all balanced out. So the way that it reads the score, it actually drops it. It doesn't help you. You think it helps you, but it doesn't. The time of the collection, for example, if you had it in 05 to now, like we're in May, right? May 05 to May 08, that's 3 years. So it's a pretty old collection. There's 36 months reporting on it. If you pay it down or you pay it off, what's going to happen? Yes, sir.
What's going to happen is going to report again. But I got a question, Antonio. Should I consult with my professional mortgage consultant from Weststar Mortgage before I do anything? If it's the rest of my credit or pay anybody off?
Why should you consult with somebody from Western Mortgage, Mr. Ross?
Because they'll probably let me know, even if I didn't remember, that you probably shouldn't pay that off. Instead, you should pay off some other things, because if you pay that off, it's going to bring your score down.
Okay. So does that make sense to everybody? Sure? Yeah. Okay. Next slide, please.
It don't make sense to her. She got a question.
Go ahead.
There you go.
What's your
So are
question?
you saying don't pay down the most, I guess the ones from like 3-4 years ago, and not most recent?
Everybody's credit is extremely different and it's very unique. So every situation is on a case-by-case basis. So that's why he's insistent that you consult with a professional like Jay Johnson out there or Jennifer Brown and say, hey, what should I do in this case? Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right, number 2, please. close out your credit cards, your credit score goes up. How many people have been told you need to pay everything off and close out your credit card? How many people have been told that? A few, right? But you guys also have heard that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you close out an account, basically you're in the restaurant business. They say 86, which means it's dead, it's killed, no more. You're limiting your credit power. You're basically not counting one more account that you had before. So if you had 4 accounts, now you have 3 because you closed off a credit card. If you paid off 2, now you have 2. If you had 4 to begin with. Does everybody understand that? So it's bad for you to pay off an account and close it. You can pay it down or pay it off, but you need to leave it open. Okay? Why? This can cause your debt ratios to go up. It changes the length of your credit history. It's cumbersome for us to determine your ability to pay something. Because we're reading the trade lines and we're saying, hey, these people are worthy because they've been paying on something for so long and they've been making monthly payments on it. Does everybody understand that? It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, you have a $15 credit card that you bought at like Home Depot, new lights, and you forgot about it because it's not something that you buy on a regular basis, like the groceries and stuff like that, or the credit cards that you use all the time. So what happens is people forget that one credit card and they cancel it off. But it's an actual trade line that if it's reporting every month, it's helping your credit. Does everybody understand that? Okay? Don't max out your charge accounts or your credit cards. Why is that? Why is that important?
Ratio. Ratio, the debt income ratio. That's one piece of it. The other part of it is that your credit report, one of the measures that it uses to report is that it looks at the percentage of the credit that you're actually using for your utilization ratio.
Correct. Correct. The lower the percentage, we're going to use $1,000 as a base measure. If you have a credit card for $1,000, it behooves you to keep it at 30% or lower. Sometimes 50% or lower. It just depends on the credit card that it is. Why? It's a credit model, and what it reads is the debt that you have versus the open credit that you have available to use. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
So the less that you use and the more that you have available, the higher your credit score is going to be. The more maxed out that you are, the lower your credit score is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. It is the fastest way to drop your credit. How does credit get calculated here? It gets calculated on a day-by-day basis. Because you don't know, like if you have a Bank of America, an MBNA credit card, a Capital One credit card, and a car payment with BB&T, you don't know when they report to credit. Because if you did, you could control that credit. You could control your credit score, basically. And it's a way to manage it. So you never know, you never will, and they can't tell you because it's a secret. The computers like pull directly from the computer that you have the liability with, and basically what it's doing is creating a different credit score every day. So on one day, because you paid one credit card down, your score might go up, it might shoot up. Or the other day, because you bought groceries on your credit card, your score might be down. And it fluctuates on a day-to-day basis. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
I got one question.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. If, for example, I have a credit card that has no limit on it, but I do have one that is almost like maxed out. Is it wise for me just to pay that down to about 30%, or is it, if I can transfer half the balance to another credit card that does not have a balance, is it wise to do that as well in reference to my credit score, or should I just leave it as it is and just pay it down to 30%?
Scenario number 2 is wiser.
To transfer half the balance to another credit card?
Correct. Keep the balance as low as possible and spread it out among the credit card bill.
You just don't believe it.
make sense to consolidate two of your credit cards into one. Okay, but why did it penalize you?
Because you look more at the risk, because
You're maxed out on one, you don't have anything with the other, right? As opposed to being spread even.
because it looks like you can't manage the credit.
Correct. Alright? If it's maxed out, you're maxed out on one, you're open on the other, what do?
You get the risk that you could charge the other one up in default.
Correct. It's saying basically, I have carte blanche to go off shopping with one credit card, because the other one's maxed out. And it's saying that when you read credit, or when somebody reads credit over at the bank, it's pretty much saying, well, these people are all maxed out, they go from one to the other, they can't manage their credit. That's what they're doing, they're robbing Peter to pay Paul. But like in our case, we're like robbing all 12 apostles. They are credit cards. All right. Don't do anything to change your current status. Why? There's always strategies. You know, if you talk to a loan professional, there's strategies to boost your credit, and we'll tell you when it's the best time of the month for your credit to probably be at the high cycle. And that's the one snapshot that we want to capture. Basically, when you make a mortgage loan, it has to sell on Wall Street. That's all that matters. So when we're looking at your picture, we're a direct lender, by the way. Western Mortgage is a direct lender. Just like Bank of America, or BB&T, or any other national credit bank. The only thing is that we only specialize in mortgage loans. We only do homes. We don't do cars, we just do homes. We know how to put people in homes. Okay? So that's what we specialize in. So we're going to be telling you, we're going to look at your snapshot at the end of the month, or at the beginning of the month. But that's something that we have to create an attack plan for you to get in the house, for us to see the best credit that we can show, for us to sell that loan on Wall Street. Does that make sense? Okay. Some people are like, very, very nice with their credit. Their mom, their sister, their cousin. Hey, I'm going to co-sign for a loan for you. Who's that? Some people got burned. Some people got burned in the past. If you look at your credit, like if you and your dad or you and your mom have the same name and the same last name, you know what happens. All the information gets crisscrossed. Boom, there you are. You never paid nothing late in your life. The next thing you know, they pull your credit. You go try to buy a TV over at Circuit City. What they do is, oh wow, we can't rent you $2,000 because you got X amount of legs there. And you never had it. It's never accurate, but something very small can change your credit picture, and then it'll take you months, if not a year, to correct it. So be pretty prudent when you say to somebody, I'm going to let you use my credit. The less activities, the better. Like if somebody already pulled your credit, then do not try to not go out and buy anything, or try not to use the credit that you have available. Stuff happens. Your car breaks down, you need brakes, whatever. It's something that during the credit process you have to be very, very careful with, because sometimes underwriters pull the credit again, and they don't feel that you're strong enough or that you're a higher risk. So they might say right before closing, we're going to pull your credit. So if they feel that you're that much of a credit risk, at the end of the whole process, you have it all qualified, you have it all ready to move into the house, everything's done. At the last minute, they pull the credit report, they see that new Escalade that you bought. What happens? There goes your house. So, and you got to be careful, because it's money that you're putting out of your own pocket. You have to pay for the appraisal, you have to pay for the title, you have to pay for other stuff that was ordered on your behalf, and it becomes your liability and your responsibility. And because you made a mistake like that, you can't get into the house. All right. Number 7, do be aware of your credit report and score. Why? All that stuff, there's how many Pamela Johnsons are out there? How many Antonio Riveras are out there? How maintaining for Brownsville out there. There's a ton. Just where I live, there's like 5 Antonio Riveras. There's probably, you know, I'm seeing people with the same name that you have. And if you live in a demographical area that's pretty close to the possible 5-mile radius, believe me, that information will sink into your credit. So the best thing to do is to have a mortgage professional pull your credit. It gives you the 3 credit report, 3 bureaus, that gives you a snapshot of the credit and what's in there. So it makes sense for you to figure out, you know, hey, this is not mine, how can I get that out? Why is it important to stay current on existing accounts? Somebody from this side. Yes, ma'am. So your credit order, basically, it's a responsibility. Credit is a responsibility. Card payments, credit cards, you know, the small little $5 over at, you know, at Home Depot, wherever. It says to somebody to read your credit, okay, you're able to remember to make those small payments. You're a responsible person. That's all. The one 30-day late on a $5 or a $15 minimum credit card payment you have to make can cost you a lot of points. You know, the difference going from a conventional loan to an FHA loan, it could cost you, you know, $300, $400 for missing one little payment. And I mean, the higher the loan amount of the house, the higher the value of the house, the more that you're going to pay for that mistake. So you guys have to be cognizant of that. Pretty much, if you've been responsible, you're going to keep being responsible. So basically, keep doing what you're doing. Pay your credit cards on time. Red flags are easily seen by the scoring system, meaning, you know, if you're, it's called kiting. When you grab money from one account, pay the other one, and you go back and forth, that's what it's called kiting. Basically, the software in the credit scoring system, it picks it up. So sometimes it doesn't have work as many points if you have the accounts paid off or they're not paid off, because it's just going from one balance to the other. Does that make sense? Okay. The changes in the pattern that you use your credit, it can affect your score rating. So be cognizant of that. All right.
What happens if you travel to work? You use your credit card. I use my credit card to pay for travel. I use it to.
You pay it down when you come back?
Yeah.
You get reimbursed?
I'll get reimbursed and I'll pay it off.
Right.
And I've noticed that at one point, I've been doing it the last couple of years now, but at one point, my credit was actually, it would fluctuate as much as 35 points.
Right.
Just from, you know, I charge, you know, I stayed in Hilton or I stayed some other place, and it would charge, I would make this payment, and I'm noticing a fluctuation of 35 points. Now it doesn't do that as much, because I've had years of doing that same thing, but it just acts crazy.
And what he's saying makes sense, because the more established that your credit is, the more that your credit is not going to fluctuate. But if you're just building credit, or if you're new to the credit system, then that's what happens. The more that you use your credit, the more that your credit is going to fluctuate. The more established that you are, if you have 5, 6, 7 years, you doing the same thing, your credit is not going to go up and down as much as to where he's noticing a 35-point increase or decrease in his credit. There's people that vary only 2 points or 3 points. That's not a big deal. But when you're fluctuating between
35 is a whole bracket.
Correct.
It's a whole different level of risk.
Correct. And that's the risk layer that I was talking about. That it jumps up from 620 to 640, from 640 to 660, 660 to 680, 700 plus. It's just a whole different rubric for evaluating credit.
Question.
Yes, sir.
How can you help the people who don't really have no credit, or their credit is just ruined right now? What can we do for those people whose credit is terrible?
We have an allegiance with two companies right now. One, that they fix your credit. Two, that they help you pay off the credit that you have. So basically, if you have been late on credit, on the liabilities that you have, let's just take a round figure. Let's say you owe $100,000. You racked up $100,000 from credit card because they were very good to you when they gave you the credit card. This company will grab that $100,000, buy out all that debt for 30 cents on the dollar. So basically, your debt went from $100,000 to $30,000. Now, from that $30,000, they will structure a payment for you over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Okay? Over those 5 years, they put you in set monthly payments. After that, you're going to be clean. But you're still going to have that negative report on your credit. There's this other company which helps you clean all that up. And they're a bunch of lawyers. Basically what they do is on your behalf, whether it's accurate or not, they will clean up your credit. So those two companies are very important to keep in mind when you have something like, you weren't the most responsible person along the way, but somewhere along the line, you got a kid, or you got into a family, or you decided to just wake up with that and say, hey, I'm going to clean up my credit. These people, that's what they do, that's what they specialize in. It costs $1,000 for those people to do it, but it's very worth it because when you come to a house, it's very important. It might be the difference between you saving $300, $400 a month, or you paying that extra $400 a month.
In terms of when you get a house, credit score goes up. Oh, the question was, I have a house, and I'm trying to understand your credit. When I got the house, my credit score went off the charts. Went up probably about another 40 points. I'm trying to understand why that was, because my payment history didn't change, income didn't change, how I handle my bills didn't change. Nothing changed except for I just added a new debt. Mortgage debt, but it's still a new debt, so I just want to highlight that.
You have 3 types of debts. You have mortgage, which is qualified as M, installment, which is I, and revolving, which is R. Under M, it's your home equity lines of credit and your actual first trust deed, which is your mortgage. Under I, it's your installments, like your student loan, like your car payment, things that you have, like if you go to a store that